Hey guys, how are you today? Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really fun video for you guys. I got a bunch of new Wet n Wild products at the, where did I get them? Walgreens, at Walgreens. I saw them the other day, scooped a ton of them up and have been trying them and wanted to kind of just do a video for you guys where I put on the products so you can see how they work and give you reviews as I'm going along. So it's kind of like a haul, a try-on haul with a review mixed into it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and let's just get started. Since I already have my foundation on and my brows, I'm gonna go right into using this concealer. This concealer is just called, this is kind of funny. It's called the Illuminati. Like instead of the Illuminati, Illuminati. That's kind of funny. But anyway, it's a highlighting and concealing pen. I just got the lightest shade. What I don't enjoy about this is that it's one of these twist up brush things. So I actually really hate these applicators just because I feel like they're really messy, but that's okay as long as I like the product, I guess. So the shade that I got, maybe that's the shade, Illuminati? No, it's Posing Nude. It's the shade that I got. Like I said, there was only 2 shades that I saw. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and apply this little baby. It is really creamy. A lot of products that have this applicator, you really have to like twist and twist and twist until the product comes out. This one I found I didn't really need to do that. I kind of just twisted it a couple of times and I was good to go. So that is something I can appreciate about this concealer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start blending this out. I find that the concealer blends really nicely. It definitely gives a nice highlighted look, as you can tell. I don't really smell anything funky with it, which is nice. I hate things that smell like crap from the drugstore. You all know the scent I'm talking about. I mean, you can tell it definitely really highlighted my under eye area and everywhere else that I put it. I really like this concealer. You don't get a ton of product. I mean, which again is my complaint with a lot of these twist up concealer pens. You just don't really get a ton of product. Like I think I will run out of this in a month if I use it every day. So, I mean, whatever, not a huge deal, but just something to note. Granted, you're not paying a ton of money for this stuff, so there's that too. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the Wet n Wild Mega Glow contouring palette in Dolce de Leche, and I'm gonna use the lighter shade in this palette to set my under eye concealer. Now, there are 2 shades of the contouring palette. Also, this is like impossible to get open. I don't know if I just got a bad one or what. It's like really hard to open. So there are 2 shades in the contouring palettes. I decided to just pick up the lighter one because I like the contour shade a lot better. The darker palette is more of a banana color powder, which I might pick up just for the banana color powder, and definitely a much warmer tone bronzer and a lot darker. So I picked this one up to start just because I felt like I could get use out of both of the shades and not just one of them. Okay, so what I will say about this palette, I like the brightening shade. I like the brightening powder a lot. What I will say though is that these are very powdery. You put your brush in there and then a ton of powder comes up. So they're just really powdery, which again, I can live with. I mean, this is a cheap drugstore contouring kit or palette, I guess. So you're getting what you pay for, essentially. You know what I mean? But the powders themselves are really soft and pigmented. I'll just kind of show you guys. Like super soft and super pigmented. You know, but they're just powdery, which is okay. I can deal with it. But that's just something to note with that. So I have been setting my under eyes with that lighter shade every day since I've gotten this palette, and I really do like it. Keeps everything in place. The concealer doesn't really crease or anything, so A+. I like both of those things. My puppy is over here helping me film a video because she's so sweet. Yes, you want to say hi to everyone now? Say hi to the people. Say hi to the people. She's such a good girl. So now I'm going to take that contouring shade in that contour kit. I keep saying kit, it's a palette. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So if you can see in that contour shade, I just very lightly put my brush in there, and that is all the powder that came up. So I almost feel like I'm wasting a lot of product because so much comes up. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm not making any sense, but I think you guys know what I'm saying. It's just so powdery that you definitely have to tap off your brush, and you're blowing half of the product off of the palette, you know? Which again, you get what you pay for, and it's fine because these blend beautifully. They're really, really soft, all that good stuff. So can't really complain too much, but just something to mention. It's not the, it's a little bit of a messy palette. Let's say that. It's just a little bit messy. But as you can see, really, really pigmented. I really like that contour shade. I really, really like that contour shade. I just feel like it's a really good match for my skin tone. It's warm enough to where I don't look gray and dead, but it's also not orange. So it's just, I don't know, I really, really like that shade for my skin. And like I said, they blend beautifully, really, really nicely. A+ for this. Well, maybe not an A+, but I like it and I definitely recommend it. It's just a little powdery, but we can all deal with that, right? Right. So next up is blush. Wet n Wild reformulated their blushes, but something slightly disappointing is that they only released one new shade. So I only picked up one blush, and that's the new shade that they released, which is Rose Champagne. The packaging looks like this. It's a little bit smaller than their older blushes, but I find that the formula is really the same. They're really, really soft and smooth and just pretty. So that's Rose Champagne right there, which you probably can't even see that well. It does have a really nice like sheen to it, but it's not, like, I don't see any sparkle in it, if that makes any sense. It's just a really pretty blush. So I'll show you how it applies. Again, which I also find this with my other Wet n Wild blushes, the original formula, they are pretty powdery. I think that's just kind of a thing with Wet n Wild. Their products are just a little powdery. You get a lot of, you know, kickback or kick up. I never know what you're supposed to say. Kick up of powder? I don't know. You all know what I mean though. There's just, you know, you gotta kind of tap it off and whatever, work with it. But I love this blush shade. I think that this is a stunning everyday color. Like, I love how my cheeks look right now with that contour and this blush. I just think it makes me look healthy and alive, happy to be here. You know what I mean? I like it. So hopefully, I would love Wet n Wild to come out with more blushes, like more regular blushes, because their blushes are so good, but there's only like 3 or 4 shades, so there's not really a lot to choose from, so kind of a bummer. But I really like this blush. I really like it a lot. Love, love, love. So I suppose the next thing we will do is work with the Wet n Wild Illuminating Palette. This is in Catwalk Pink. This is the only illuminating palette that I saw, so I don't know if they make any other ones, but this is just the one that I saw and picked up. So as you can see, each strip is really, really thick, which is awesome because if you want to work with each individual strip, you can. So that's really nice because if you just want to use one single shade, the strips are big enough to where you can put your brush in there and not get it mixed with other shades. Or you can just mix everything around into one big pile of happy highlight and highlight that way. So that's what it looks like when I mix everything together. So it's definitely a little hint of pink in there, obviously, because there's a pink shade. But each individual shade is really, really pretty in this palette. So what I will say about this is it's very sparkly. It's definitely a sparkly highlighter. So if you're not into sparkly highlighters, I don't think you're gonna enjoy this, but I'm just gonna take the 2 lighter shades and just kind of mix those. So I don't think that the sparkle is really going to show up on camera, but It's definitely a nice highlighter. You can definitely see the glow, but again, if you're not into like a sparkly highlight, I don't think you're gonna like this because it is pretty like glittery. Not glittery, sparkly. I don't know, it's not like super intense either, but as you can, I mean, you can see it, it's pretty. It gives you a nice glow, so I really do like this, and it would be fun if they came out with even more of a shade selection. So next I want to talk about this eyeshadow palette. So they have two eyeshadow palettes out right now. This one that I picked up is obviously the warmer tone. It's called Coming In Latte, which I think is really cute. My foot is totally asleep. They had a cooler tone palette as well with a lot more of like a purpley shade selection. So I didn't pick up that one just because I knew I would use this one a lot more. Now, this feels extremely cheap. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. It feels really cheap. And the shadows are like, some of the pans are like coming up out of the palette and you can't push them back down. Which, I was actually watching Casey Holmes, her video on all the Wet n Wild products, and her palette had the same issue and the same shade. So there's kind of a close-up of all the shadows. It's really pretty. It's a really pretty shade selection. But I don't know if you guys can tell that fourth one in, that gold color, is like totally coming out of the palette. What I will say is that it's not loose. Like none of the shadows are jiggling around when I go like this, which you would think this one would fall right out. But at the same time, it just looks super cheap. And I originally was thinking, oh, maybe I just got a bad one and whatever. But Casey's palette had the same shadow doing the same thing. So not a huge fan of that. It just makes the overall packaging look a lot cheaper, you know what I mean? So not a huge fan of that. It does come with a double-ended brush, which is kind of cute. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever really use this. I have used the fluffy end before with these shadows, which is fine. I mean, it's not, you know, it's not a great brush by any means, but whatever. I'll use the brush today though, just for purposes of the video. The shadows are pretty soft and pretty pigmented. I mean, they show up on my fingers really nicely. I think everybody knows that the Wet n Wild eyeshadows are actually really amazing. Any of like the 3 shade pans, or the 3 shade palettes, the 6 shade palettes, and even some of their single eyeshadows are really nice. Super affordable, obviously, and really just smooth and pigmented and creamy and beautiful. So that's what I was hoping from this palette, which I think you do and don't get, but I'll kind of explain. So I'm just gonna take this like medium tone brown matte shade, and I'm just gonna apply that in my crease with this brush. Like I said, I mean, I actually think I'm gonna switch to a different brush. It's okay, like if you were in a pinch, I could see like grabbing this brush or whatever, but it's definitely not the best brush in the world. This matte shade that I'm applying to my crease right now is really soft and pigmented and blends really nicely. You get a lot of color payoff from it, so I do really enjoy that shade. So then I'm just gonna take one of the shimmery shades. I'm gonna take I guess I'll just take the light shimmery shade right here, the second one in, and I'm gonna apply that to my lids. Now, this is where I'm slightly disappointed with this palette. With a brush, these shimmery shades like don't work for me at all. They barely show up on my eyes, barely have any, yeah, like they just barely have any pigment to them. I'll try applying a little bit with my finger. Yeah, so applying it with your finger definitely works better, which honestly, I mean, I can't knock the palette too much because that is the case with most eyeshadows. Really, it could be the most stunning eyeshadow in the world, best formula ever, And if you apply it with your finger, it's more than likely gonna apply nicer and more pigmented than with a brush. So I can't knock the palette too much on that because, you know, that's kind of the story with every eyeshadow, but it's nice. I don't think you need this by any means because I don't think it's as good as their other palettes. Like, I have their Comfort Zone palette and that purple palette that they have with the six eyeshadows in them. And I have a couple of the 3 eyeshadow palettes, and those are just absolutely stunning, like absolutely beautiful and wonderful quality. I don't think that this is on par with those, but it's an okay palette. So kind of on the fence about this. Okay, so today's gonna be the first time I'm using this eyeliner. They had a couple different eyeliners. They had a thicker felt tip eyeliner, a thinner one, which is the one that I got just because it's easier for me to work with. So that is the tip of the eyeliner right there. It's obviously really thin. Don't mind my nails, please. I have not had time to do them and they look so terrible. Okay, so right off the bat, since this is my first time using this eyeliner, I really like the brush. I'm more used to using eyeliners that are like a pen form. So this is different for me because I haven't used one of these in a really long time. But the brush tip is so tiny that it really gets into your lashes and kind of covers any gaps that might be showing, you know, that where you can't reach eyeliner. And the formula is really black, so that's also really nice. Ooh, I like it. Okay, so I actually really do enjoy that eyeliner. I would say if you are starting out with eyeliner, I always think that a pen form of eyeliner, like the Jordana Fabuliner or the Milani Eyetech Extreme, those like pen type of eyeliners are just so much easier to work with in my opinion. But this eyeliner is really nice. It's really black and it applied really nicely. So I like that a lot and I will totally give that a thumbs up. So now, probably the item I was most excited about, which comes as no surprise because I love me a new mascara. This is the Wet n Wild Lash-O-Matic Mascara and Fiber Extension Kit. So I have tried this a few times, so I can give you a really good opinion on it. But I kept it in the packaging just so you guys could see. So obviously it comes with your mascara on one side and then your fibers on the other side. And what this says to do is to apply 1 coat of mascara, 1 coat of fibers, and then finish it with a top coat of mascara. This is what the mascara wand looks like. So just kind of a basic mascara wand, nothing too exciting. So I'm gonna do 1 coat of this on each eye. I didn't curl my lashes or anything, just so you guys can see, you know, what it looks like without curling your lashes. Oh, and also because I dropped my eyelash curler in the toilet. So that's currently where it is and I should probably get it out at some point. Cause that's obviously need to get a new one. So this mascara is pretty dry. Not gonna lie, it's pretty dry, which you may or may not like. Some people really, sorry, the sun is like, woo. Some people really like a dry formula for mascara. Some people really hate it. I personally, I go back and forth, but this formula I'm not like crazy about. Now I'm gonna apply the fibers, which I wonder if you can see them flying all over the place. Now I'm like really generous with the fibers because, oh my God, they're like falling all over my face. Look at this. See, you can see a fiber fell onto my face. So not a fan of that part of it because the fibers literally just like fly all over the place, which is crazy and messy and whatever. But now I'm gonna go back in with the mascara and just finish that off. Now I have to say, Wet n Wild, you did a really good job with this mascara. I am so impressed with this. So, oh my gosh, I'm like so impressed. So obviously I have the mascara and the fibers on this eye and nothing done yet on this eye. Look at the difference. It is crazy. My lashes look so big. Crazy. I'm actually pretty blown away by this mascara. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. It is, like I said, not the easiest mascara to work with, and it takes a lot of effort because you're doing one coat and then a coat of the fibers and they're flying all over your face, and then you have to finish with the mascara and blah, blah, blah. But once you work with it, it looks really nice. It looks really, really good. But I really like this. I'm not even gonna lie. I really like it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do my other eye real quick. So those are my lashes with one coat of the mascara, a coat of fibers, and a coat of mascara. And that's what this is without curling them too, which is crazy. I am just so, I have to say, I am just really impressed. Absolute A+ for that mascara combo, duo, whatever you want to call it. I think it's amazing. Like I said, it's a little bit messy. You definitely have to work with it. But once you do, you get eyelashes that look really long and volumized and just really awesome. So totally love that. I'm really, really impressed. So the last product I wanted to share with you guys was the Wet n Wild Velvet Matte. The Wet n Wild Velvet Matte lip colors. They had quite a few shades, maybe like 5 or something like that. 5. I got the 2 that I knew I would wear. These 2 right here. So one is like, or looks like it would be a mauvey, dusty pink, and then one looks like more of like a brownish nude. The brownish nude is called Hickory Smoked, and the lighter color is called Berry Tails. That's really cute. That is Hickory Smoked right there. Oh my god, my nails, I'm sorry. Ugh. Hickory Smoked right there and Berry Tails right there. So what I will say about these is they're pretty sheer. I was hoping that these would be like full on gorgeous color, but they're a little bit sheer. I don't know how I feel about the Hickory Smoked color. I don't know, it's just a little too red for me, but it could work for some people. The Berry Tail shade is pretty. I actually used it today. Now here's something I'm gonna share with you as this just happened to me. This is only like the 2nd or 3rd time that I've opened this, and when you open the cap, my whole lipstick, I just pushed it back in, but my whole lipstick like came out and I had to push it back in. Not a fan of that, but I will show you, it's on my lips. These are really, really smooth and really soft, which is nice, and they almost feel like a little bit moisturizing. They are a little bit patchy and they're not super pigmented. But I think for an everyday, just quick and easy lip color, these are nice. I'll try out the Hickory Smoked one at some point and share my thoughts on that color with you guys, but the formula is nice. I mean, it's a pretty sheer formula, but it's smooth, it's soft, it's hydrating, so it feels really nice on your lips. They say it's a matte lip color, but you can definitely move your lips together and rub them together and whatever. So again, with the price, I think you can't really go wrong. Okay guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun just like talking to you guys and trying products and reviewing them while I'm trying them, just giving you guys my thoughts and showing you how they work. I really enjoyed doing this video for you guys. I really enjoyed everything. I'd say my least favorite product is the eyeshadow palette, which is a kind of a bummer because I love eyeshadow palettes. But that's okay. It's not a bad eyeshadow palette, but it's not the best either. But yeah, Wet n Wild has really, I think, killed it for the majority of the new stuff that they've come out with. They had more stuff too. They had like a mattifying powder, a setting spray, maybe a couple of other things, but these were just things I knew I could give you guys a really good review on and stuff that I really wanted to try out. So if you guys try any of these products, definitely let me know. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.